Hello, welcome to
Hi,
Smiley's. What probably qualifies as after hours, literally. Um,
but not a
so
solo after us. It's like
yeah, it's not a solo after hours. It's a not sober after hours. Yeah,
no.
we're literally drunk. So this episode's a bit of a bonus one, I suppose, because we're a bit wasted and we had a brilliant idea to do an extra episode. So a pervasive question has been a question on reading order and how you should approach the Malazan books, and we both have opinions, and we're gonna put forth our opinions, and we're gonna let you decide which is which.
No,
So,
no. You might have opinions. What I have is like the objective truth of what the reading order should be. So sorry, man.
obviously, my bad,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
apologies. So, let's hear those subjective facts, if you would be so kind. Also, this is no spoilers, so we're not gonna spoil any of the actual books. We're just gonna give some vague arguments of why you should read these like this.
Yeah, and please let's stick to calling the books by their full names because
Yeah,
most people might not know that book
yeah,
6 automatically refers to bone hunters and things like that. So
right.
yeah, in my opinion, I think though, this is after a lot of thought and after a lot of hesitation. What I suggest is read the Book of the Fallen and then read the novels of the Malazan Empire. That's it. And then you can pick up whatever you want based on what exactly your taste is. Because these are the only two cycles which have been like completed within the Malazan universe. The Book of the Fallen with 10 books and novels of the Malazan Empire with 6 books are fully completed. One by Erickson and one by Esselmont. Right? All the
Mm-hmm.
others are still ongoing. We thought Path to Ascendancy was completed, but then we suddenly got a new fourth book this year. So it's become like a 6 book series. Karkanas, which is maybe 3 books or maybe 4 books, of which 2 are out. Then the Witness trilogy, of which 1 is out so far. So the rest are ongoing, but these 2 are completed, and with 16 books, you will have the lore, the entire lore, and the backstory of the whole universe. And ideally, though the authors say that you should mix them and read them according to publication order and things like that, I would still say read one and then the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're agreed, right? So we can just wind up.
Yeah, yeah. I can't disagree with objective facts, but so
How did you
what
read
I
them?
did, what I did
Yeah.
was I followed what is now colloquially known as the ultimate reading order on the Moz
Is
wiki.
it? It's called that. Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't read
What?
the novellas alongside it. Basically, it's a modified publication order. What it seeks to do is maximize. Interestingly enough, it seeks to maximize the amount of plot lines that intersect, which is weird if you're not
Yeah.
prepared. So you're probably going to get lost. This is one of the pieces of advice I see a lot with regards to Mora's decision is if you're not ready to tackle 16 big books with very different tones and writing styles and settings, don't do this. Just read one and then read the other. Like the Book of the Fallen already has like a very difficult through line because it feels a bit random. The jumps are until you actually have the full context. It's a bit difficult to discern where the through line is. The novels also kind of have this thing. There's not really one clear through line. So by mixing the two, you're not going to get 2 through lines that are like, okay, this is obvious. No, you're going to get hopelessly lost. But why I think it's important is it adds so much more depth to each individual character as you come across them. So I, for instance, read Knight of Knives right before reading The Bone Hunters. I finished Knight of Knives in 2 days. One sec, okay. And then I got into The Bone Hunters, and when we visit certain settings in The Bone Hunters that I've already visited Knight of Knives, there's like, oh, I've been here. I know what they're talking about. I know what this is because Steve wrote it with the intention of you knowing what this is because he assumed you have read the relevant book. So in that way, you can pick up a lot more hints. You can pick up a lot more interesting tidbits. You can see a lot more of the lore. You can see how the 2 books, what we've said when we're doing our novel series, our first series, was that the 2 books are in conversation with one another. The 2 series, rather. I then read Return of the Crimson Guard after Reaper's Gale, which is book 7. Stone Wielder after book 8, which is All the Hounds. and then I read the last 3 novels after The Crippled God.
Oh, you didn't read Orb, Scepter, Throne immediately after Told the Hounds?
I did not know.
That would have been amazing. Yeah.
I actually kind of agree. I do think that would, like, there are other reading orders that you can read on the sub. I might link a few since.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
That do include Orb, Scepter, Throne, like Stone Wielder before Told the Hounds and Orb, Scepter, Throne after Told the Hounds, and it works. It works because there is a narrative through line between these 3 books. But as a whole, one book before that kind of assumes you've read the book after it, and so on and so, and it's a bit complicated. Now, I acknowledge the merits of reading each series individually, because both series have great characters that go through great arcs, disrupting those arcs beyond what's already disrupted within the books, because the books change settings often. Can feel a bit jarring, but it offers a lot more, both not just trivia, just like some things are just necessary knowledge. What seems like ordinary trivia, like some throwaway lines in the Book of the Fallen, are then entire storylines in the novels of the Malazan Empire. I can think of at least one example.
We're not going to mention those examples, right?
Well, I'm not going to mention now, but there's like at least one instance in which an entire storyline is mentioned offhandedly in one part of the book in Told the Hounds. Now, for the last 3 novels, rather, for the last 2 novels, because Orb, Scepter, Throne kind of directly follows up on Told the Hounds, Blood and Bone and the Sail are kind of their own thing. Mostly they're doing their own thing. They're pretty self-contained. They don't particularly intersect with other novels, so you can read them separately. No big deal. So after that, what I did was read. What did I read after that? Right, I read Witness.
Can I just say that even I can acknowledge the merits of combining the 2 storylines together, the 2 series together, because I read them one after the other, and I realized that there were so many gaps in my understanding. By the time I got to like Told the Hounds, Dust of Dreams, Told the Hounds, there were so many things that didn't make sense to me, which would have made sense if I had read the novels, parallelly. At least, the books which you mentioned, like Return of the Crimson Guard, Stone Wielder especially. It has so many things going on which directly like helps your understanding of the last book of the Fallen. So I felt like I had missed out a whole bunch, but I would still recommend, unless you're like a die-hard fan by book 3 or book 4, then
It
just keep the
is
series
a
separate.
big time commitment. Yeah, I took.
Not just about the time commitment, it's about having resources so that you don't burn out or don't just get confused and just
Yeah.
because we all had like, at least I had access to the subreddit and I had a friend, so if I needed something I could just hit them up and ask like what's going on, I'm not getting it. And you need that kind of support. You need a little bit of community to read these books, I feel.
So
If you don't have that, yeah.
As you can rather clearly see, the division is very clear because there is no one right way to read these books. And that's kind of the beauty about it, right? Anyone that says like this is the intended way or the right way, or even in jest the objective way, which I have seen unfortunately one too many times not in jest, are wrong. Because there is no one right way to read these books. Okay, maybe there are a few wrong ways to read these books, but
there are a few
right
wrong
way.
ways. Yeah.
There is like one reading order on Goodreads, which is like a shitty chronological order that makes absolutely no sense. But yeah. We have one ultimate chronological order, which is a joke, and it's only meant for rereaders. But there was one crazy bastard who started with the Goodreads order and
Could
started
you
with
not
Harkness.
like insult people? I don't know. Yeah, but then someone started with Karkanas and then they finished the Book of the Fallen.
And then they finished the Book of the Fallen, and while I can see the merits of that as well, I would not really recommend it.
Okay, because we thought we'll keep this video less than 10 minutes.
So yeah, we're gonna wrap up right about now.
No. I want to ask you.
Yes.
After finishing all 16 books, like
Yes.
parallelly or sequentially or whatever, what
Yes.
next? How do you pick the next quickly?
Oh God, I don't know. I picked Witness next because that was the first book that was out, and I bought it before I finished the sale.
Okay,
For
yeah.
you,
No,
whatever you
the
like.
thing I usually say is like if you want more Marines and if you want a faster read, just pick Witness. If you like Toll the Hounds versus your favorite and you want more of the Teist, then pick Carcanas. And if you want something almost YA and you're more interested in the Empire and the Empire origins, like Kellen Weden Dancer, then pick the PTA. And if you want none of these, you just want to read Steve writing in a relaxed manner, then
Read the
you just pick,
novellas.
yeah, pick the novelist.
So yeah, really, there is, especially after you finish the 16 books, there is no one right way to read these books. So that's the main takeaway. That this video is rather pointless because objectively, as Maura said, her reading order is objectively correct. But
Oh, you're
even
just going to
still,
agree. Okay, yeah.
yeah. So do what you like, and if you feel like you can actually do it, go for it. I think it's very rewarding. I think reading them sequentially is very rewarding. I think doing all crazy sorts of shit, especially in a reread, is very fun and rewarding. But you do you.
Oh,
Is basically
you know
what it is.
what? I want to link Zill's Chaos reading order.
Oh yeah.
Like where he goes through like Toll the Hounds 3 times and Goddess of the Moon is just skipped from the reading order, which is like the best thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Please let us link that.
That
Yeah.
exists. That is a thing that happened, by the way. So if it
And that
gives
is
you
a
an
thing.
idea,
I mean, it does make sense, right? Like, after Reaper's Gale, you go straight to Dust of Dreams. Makes sense. And why not read Toll the Hounds 3 times? Like, why would you not do that? Okay, so keeping with the time limit, should we just wind up?
yeah. So thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for watching, and
Bye.
bye.